निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसङ्गैः पदमव्ययं तत् नरकासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यतवाप्नोति व्यक्षामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयत् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च ग्रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठानमदश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Question. The last class mentioned about the attachment. We say my shadow and also we say my house, my kids. But that mindness doesn't stay in the shadow. Whereas we develop the attachment with our house, kids, etc. What is the difference? You have to tell. I don't know what is the difference. There is a difference, no? My answer. Answer irukke. See, you ask question when you don't know the answer. My answer is, because we constantly think about the object, my house and my kids, the attachment is developed. Whereas in my shadow, it is not the case. Okay, from today onwards, start thinking my shadow, my shadow, my shadow, my shadow. Rest of your life you can think my shadow, my shadow, my shadow. You will not get attached. From today, take it as a resolution. My shadow. Do japa. Every day. What is it you are doing? Japa. My shadow, 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 my shadow. Can go on and on and on. You will not get attached to your shadow. But still you claim that is my shadow. You say it is mine, but still you don't get attached. Classic example. I don't know whoever gave that example. Example who yaar kodta? Question by Srinivas. Both sides you say, my house, statement is same. In terms of grammar you take, same thing. But then the impact is very different. Even though you claim mindness with reference to your shadow, you are not impacted by that. On the other hand, you say, my house, you are impacted. My child, you are impacted. My car, you are impacted. My family, my name, my business, my shirt. Yes, there's factor, my shirt. My pillow. I've seen people carry their pillow with them, because they say, I can't sleep in any other pillow, sir. You get a pain in the neck, it's okay. These pillows, some few people use, hard. People use, soft pillows. It depends on their practice. But sleep has got nothing to do with it. But still we say that. My car, my this. What is the difference? Means anything happens to that impacts you. When it comes to my shadow, whatever happens to the shadow, wherever your shadow falls, you don't not affect it. Your shadow may fall in a gutter. People run over the shadow. Nothing happens to you. You are not affected at all. Somebody spits, it falls on the shadow. What you'll do? If the same thing were to fall on your shirt, what will you do? You are there, no, with me. Suresh, we are going for the Whitefield class. Usually we pull the windows up. That day, I didn't. I just, pulled that down. So there's a truck which stood just next to us. Sitting there, the truck said, and the fellow just before, the starting, moving the vehicle, he pressed the accelerator. One smoke came and hit me full. That kurta turned black. The whole class was feeling very uncomfortable. You were there, no? Whitefield class. Like, whole class, imagine 15 years smoking cigarette, no? The whole thing you smoke once. Imagine how that much was there. What can you do with that fellow now? We're going to overtake the fellow, stop him and fight with him. Go. Nothing can be done. If the same thing were to happen to the shadow, what will you do? Can you take it like that? If you can take, you are having detachment, non-attachment. Otherwise, he says it's not, it is not. So it has got nothing to do with your repeated thinking. Your repeated thinking with a particular bhavana. Even though you say it is my shadow, you have an understanding that I am different, shadow is different, I have got nothing to do with the shadow. Whereas, when it comes to my car, my house, you don't carry that notion. Even though theoretically you understand you are different, that's different. Theoretically, yes, of course. Or to put it across, intellectually, you understand. But your outlook is, it's not. That's why in the Adhikaritvam, we say there are fourfold qualifications needed for a person to pursue the spiritual path. The first one we say is Viveka, and then Vairagya. If Viveka can lead to Vairagya automatically, what is the necessity to refer that? You're all with me? Imagine, if I have Viveka, it will automatically result in Vairagya, then why refer that as a specific qualification? Isn't it? Tivra Viveka, we can say, that's enough. You can have, ordinary Viveka, then all that you need to do is what? Keep on developing more and more Viveka. Please understand, study more, study more, study more, study more. All that you have to do is what? Keep on attending class after class after class after class after class. One day what will happen? Vairagya will come. Automatic. If Viveka is the cause, if Vairagya were to be the automatic effect of it, what is the necessity to refer that as a separate qualification? The fact that in Adhikaritvam, they refer that as a specific qualification means what? This is automatic. Which means, along with Viveka, you need to do something more. You see, if Viveka itself can lead to sadhana chatushtaya, right, shama, dhamma and all those things, etc. Why refer that? Viveka is enough now. If Viveka can automatically lead you to mumukshatva, why refer mumukshatva? So which means what? For Viveka you have to work, for Vairagya you have to work, for mumukshatva you have to work, for sadhana chatushtaya you got to work. The sixfold. For each one of it you have to work separately. Even though there is a link between all this, you cannot say one is the cause, second is the effect. There is no cause and effect relationship. If there is a direct cause and effect relationship, there would not be a necessity for them to say there are fourfold things required, one is enough. All that you need to do is what? Develop Viveka. That is not what they say. So something else is there. What is that something more? That is what he refers here. Asanga sastrena dridena chitva. Asanga sastra. Asanga. Asanga is non-attachment. Means detachment. Means scary one, dispassion. Better, sir. Detachment, you say, you get scared. Renunciation, forget it. Sannyasa, you get scared. Right? But then initial, of course, he is only referring to the initial phase. Because verse 3 is not complete, it is halfway. Yes, his idea is not, because in the second line of the third verse only, he is starting. Right. So what he is doing right now, if you see from verse 1 to 6, 1 to 6, what he is doing, sir? He is explaining what is samsara. After giving a beautiful description about samsara, he says, the form cannot be perceived. He has said the root, he has given the branches, he has given the secondary branches, he has given the secondary roots and the leaves. Everything is described about a tree. After giving a complete description, he says, it can't be described. If it can't be described, why describe man? That's the style of the Shastra. After describing, he says, what to do with the samsara now? There are two ways to deal with it. One is you can nourish that, make it grow. Another one is uproot it. With tree, only two things you can do. Either you cut the tree or you nurture, nourish, grow the tree. Take care. He says, with samsara, what are you supposed to do? He says, cut that. Right. After giving what to do with it, he immediately gives what is the test of the person who has attempted that cut or succeeded in that. Immediately he gives that. Then finally explains what is the state of the person who has completely uprooted the tree. Verse 1 to 6. Describe. Then describe the tree. Cut the tree. How to go about it. Then he gives a test. How do you know whether you are cutting the tree or you are feeding the tree? And then after cutting the tree, what will be the condition? After you have removed the tree, what is that? 1 to 6. That's the title we have. Brahman is macrocosm, perishable, kshara. And then he will move into microcosm. Next topic. So right now we are in this macrocosm. What is this? So here what we are discussing is about the first step. He is not referring to viveka, he is referring to vairagya. Because what is essentially required between viveka and vairagya is more important. Then comes this, because once we understand the samsara tree, he says there are two dimensions to that tree. One is the appearance of it, another one is what is the reality of it. The interesting part here, he says, is you can easily understand gold ornament. Right. Gold and ornament you can easily understand. So this is a necklace made of gold. This is bangle made of gold. That's much easier. The real problem comes is when there is a fake and there is a real. Like diamond we say. This one is the natural one, another one they say, lab developed, lab grown, that is lab grown diamond. They say unless you are an expert, you will not know the difference. Only an expert will be able to identify. But the cost price, the difference. 20% of the original. I mean the natural. Lab grown is just 20%. But you can't make out. I'm not giving you ideas. See, between original and the fake, not easy to distinguish. Now, before you go into the material cause and the Namarupa distinction, first requirement is what? You need to understand what is real and what is fake. Appearing to be real. Fake means what? It appears to be real. It looks as good as natural diamond. You see, you can't distinguish. In gold, at least, we can make out a bit. Why we are able to make out that? You don't need to check the weight. You can't ask a person, give me your bangle, let me check. One look at it, we know. How? You all can make out, no? Fake. What they call 18 karat, 9 karat, 24 karat and 9 karat, you can make out. Very easy. Why it is easy?
Visible. Color. Because I know what the 24 karat looks like.
Rexin sofa and leather sofa. Quietly he moved out because he knows I will ask him. Yesterday they are seeing, where we saw. So they are having the sofa, asking, is it Rexin or this one? The other fellow came, asked him. It looks like that. I said, I'm not asking you whether it looks like. He said, I wanted to know whether it is leather or Rexin. And then finally asked the owner also. I don't know. He says, he owns that. He himself doesn't know whether it is Rexin. Because earlier we could clearly make out from the texture. Nowadays, even the Rexins they are making almost like, leather. Very difficult to find out. So finally what we need, what he decided. He was so, this one. We will call an expert. You also come. I said, why should I come? He said, I just asked you, man, whether it is this or that. I'm not into, I'm not going to buy that sofa anyway. Right? I just asked a quick question. That's about it. Asking whether this or that. To know the difference, which is original and which is fake. Not easy. Like one fellow went and told Swamiji, you speak exactly like him. I'm not saying who's that him. He's like, I am the original. Poor thing, he has to establish, he is the original. All copycats, So he got so annoyed. At least you idiots, change the example, not least. He said, okay, Swamiji, petrol in the car, diesel in the car. That's all our creativity is. Beyond that, we can't think. Chumma just borrow. Always the fake will look, better actually, because the shinier, Original diamond will not shine so much. It's amazing to see that. That's the Viveka first. So he says, what is real and what is unreal? Identify that. After identifying what is real and what is unreal, automatically you need to do the next step. Next step is, now what is the value that you are going to give for what you have understood as real, what you have understood as fake? The outlook, which means you need to develop a particular outlook towards. So Viveka is belonging to the intellect, Buddhi. Buddhi says, intellect discriminates and says, this is real and this is fake. Now, what is your mind going to do? Is what Vairagya is all about. Buddhi purely says this is real diamond, this is, what do you call that as? Lab grown. Lab grown diamond. This is natural diamond, this is lab grown diamond. This is natural diamond, this is all your Buddhi will say. Buddhi will not do anything else. Now, after Buddhi understanding this is this, what is your mind going to do? You see, now mind has to give a value to it. What is the value that you are going to give to the real and what is the value you are going to give to the fake? Unreal. that particular outlook, that particular bhavana that you develop with reference to third verse, no? Because we have an understanding as detachment, dispassion, non-attachment. Means generally we call a person who is indifferent. The one who is indifferent towards things is whom we call as a detached person. Or the one who has developed a hatred towards something. When you hate something, when you don't like something, is very detached. Because the outward behavior is what? I don't like pizza. Example. Okay. Right. So when you take me to a pizza, Italian pizzas, best pizza you'll get in the city. This is the place. You can take there, but I don't like it. So what? I will not. I'll just have one piece for your sake and then come out. You will think of me as what? Oh my God. Such a detachment. Why? You are attached to pizza. You are eating pizzas. I am not eating pizzas. Therefore, you think of me as what? Wow. You know, that's how we always understand. You always understand a person who is not having that particular weakness that you carry. Right? I have a weakness for eating. So, when someone is not eating, we call that person as what? It's a great Mahatma, sir. I have a weakness for money. He never touches money, you know. Only credit. He never touches money. So what? Why are you getting inspired? You know, he just has 2 sets of dhoti and kurta, nothing else. When I travel, no, they ask me, that's all your luggage? Because people carry with, you know, like shifting the house only, this is. They travel. This is this one. This is all. What else is needed? Oh my God, you are a great man. I am not having. If I have, I would have brought. I am not having. Therefore, do you call that as detachment or attachment? He watches movie. He doesn't watch many movies. The last movie that I watched was Pasamalar. Pasamalar was, you know, made before my birth. Right? That's the last movie. Which means I watched that movie previous Janma. Not now in YouTube. Previous Janma I watched that movie. Wow, he's a great man. Superb. Why? I don't have a flair for it. You know, I don't have the preference. The things that we are not having preference, we start calling it as what? Oh, he's a great Vairagi. Or this Vairagi is used many times to refer to people who are stubborn. You know, the stubbornness will not change. That's what he is. He has decided means that's it. That's also taken by people as he is a great Vairagi. That is not Vairagya, please. Vairagya is the outlook that you develop. Towards what? Towards the enjoyments that the objects can give you, the world can give you. That is what? That world, that part of the world, those objects which were available for you to contact. Not the whole world. You see, there are private jets. Is it available for you to contact? No. Which means you cannot claim detachment over, so, private jets I am detached. Why? It's not available. So condition one should be, the object should be available for you to contact, and that object should be giving you enjoyment. You are capable of deriving enjoyment from that object. So one object should be available. Second one, you should have the capacity to extract that joy. That capacity of yours is defined based on your physical body's condition and your mental condition. Both. When I say capacity, it includes both. You may have, there. I have all the sweets, but the problem is what? I have developed diabetes. I can't eat. It's available, but I can't eat. Right? Or I have some stomach issue. Food is there, but I can't eat. That doesn't mean, I am very detached. That object should be available. Also, you should have the capacity to derive, and then you say no. Why do you say no here?
Here and here. It's not clear.
It's temporary.
Because your mind is tasting something better. You see that? That's the beauty here. If your mind is engaged in deriving joy, satisfaction from the lower, that mind is not available for deriving joy from the higher. It's not possible. A beautiful book kept to how a man will derive joy from the book, vis-a-vis how a donkey will derive joy from the book. What the donkey will do? It will also derive joy. Right. The way the donkey derives joy from the book, and the man who's reading the book and deriving joy, is it same? It is not same. Which one is higher, which one is lower? Because a man is capable of reading the book and deriving joy out of reading, he is not eating that book. The one who is not able to derive the joy of reading, what he will do? Paper couple. School days we do that. We make ship out of papers. That's all you will do. The books. I've seen people, the vada and all, they used to pack and give. I've seen people who give that vada, read that piece. Have you seen? Amazing they are. Any piece of paper, something written, means they have to read it. It's a classic characters there. Very interesting. For them, vada is not the joy. For us, who cares about what is given there? Now, vada is more interesting. How you derive. Now, you are able to get detached. What is that? It's because your mind is deriving joy. The way to a higher sukha is only by renouncing the sukha from the lower. So don't think a man of detachment is going to live a life of boring life. He is living a life, dragging. He doesn't have any joy. He has better joy. The one who has that capacity to move. So he says, first develop that vairagya. Now, how do you develop that vairagya? Is vairagya enough by itself? Because many of us think, if I have that, job is done. Says no. He continues. After that, what you need to do? There are things to do after that also. But then, before you do that, whatever he says, first step is to develop vairagya. The best method to develop vairagya is karma yoga. If you want to develop vairagya, you cannot say, I will start reading more and more and more. By reading more and more, you are not going to develop this vairagya. That will not come. Only through karma yoga, that vairagya will come. Whatever karma yoga is, don't ask me to explain karma yoga now. Right? Karma yoga, you want to understand chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. 3 chapters you have to read. These 3 chapters you read of the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand what is karma yoga. So when you practice that karma yoga, you develop vairagya, which is one of the methods. One of the foolproof method of development of vairagya is karma yoga. Dedicating your action for a higher cause. Right? That's tapas. That tapas. The tapas is the prayaschitta. Prayaschitta karma we say. No? What is prayaschitta karma? Tapas is prayaschitta karma. So all that is included here. So you have to learn about all these things. That's one of the ways in which you develop vairagya. Says. Yes.
So, even though Viveka will not automatically lead to Vairagya,
No.
is it a necessary requirement to develop Vairagya? That I should have Viveka also?
See, Viveka is the base. But Viveka itself will not produce Vairagya.
Okay.
Without Viveka, Vairagya not possible. You see, without that not possible. But by itself will it? No. It will not.
So, some incidents happens in life. Suddenly the person may feel that he doesn't want to do anything more with these kind of things. So where does Viveka step in? I mean, what I understood was suddenly he develops a kind of Vairagya. So is Viveka that suggests him towards that path?
Most of such cases were just situation driven. Like Arjuna's case. You see, he wants to get detached. Krishna says no. So between Krishna and Arjuna, Arjuna looks a Vairagi. You see, not Krishna. Krishna looks like a lobhi, indulgent fellow. No. This fellow looks far more ethical, moral, socially responsible. Arjuna will appear all that. Now, appearance is not the reality. Because once the situation changes, what happens? They'll come back. See, so, most of the time we say a particular shocking experience. That's what we refer as, smashana vairagya. See? Ramakrishna Paramahansa calls it as prasava vairagya. Prasava vairagya. Smashana vairagya. As long as the body is there, what is life, sir? Today you are there, tomorrow you are not there. All that they will discuss. 2 days later, when they sit with the will, you will know. The lawyer comes and opens the will, you will know what is the condition of detachment and all that. Vairagya is that way, it doesn't work. You see. So vairagya you need to develop. For the development of vairagya, one of the methods is this, because essentially karma yoga is what? Action of service and sacrifice. See, the one who is detached alone can serve. The one who has attachment cannot serve. If at all they appear to be serving, that service is with a lot of expectations. You see, with a lot of, strings attached to. It is. It's a very, not easy. That's why we think, serving is easy. Service is very difficult, tough one. You have to push yourself to do. Because the fundamental motivating factor for all of us is the result of action. What get out of it? If I am not going to get anything out of it, what is going to motivate you to do it? So they have to give you, either they have to inject fear in you, or they have to trigger greed in you. You will get punya karma, you will go to punya lokas. In that punya loka, what all you will get. Thinking of that heavenly joys, you are willing to sacrifice here. Good investment. That's what we do, no? I go to the temple, put 10 rupees in hundi. Too much maybe. 2 rupees. Nowadays, 1 rupee, 2 rupee coins are not available. 5 rupee also not available. No, what is RBI doing? I think they start printing, I think. Who knows? Because I have asked 2 banks. For the last 6 months, I have been asking the bank. They are saying it's not there. I say, what do you mean it's not there? It never comes to the bank or what? The notes, It's not there, sir. Either both the banks must be lying, which is no reason for them to lie, because what are they going to gain, There's nothing for them to gain actually by saying, I don't have, 5 rupee notes. What is he going to gain by that? Say it's not available. Amazing. 10 rupee note. That's why you put 10 rupees. Otherwise you will not put 10 rupees. There's a temple we see. The fellow gave 100 rupee note. I was shocked actually. Wow, yeah. It's like one fellow. One lady. She put, 100 rupee note. After that I see this, the priest. He's counting 90 rupees and giving back to her. Which means what? She has been doing it regularly. She is not even asking him. She just put that. And the fellow understood automatically. What is it? For change, she is coming here. Ideally, she would ask him to give 100 this one. But for, the guilt, she may feel. So she says, okay, take 100, 10 rupees commission. 10% commission for giving a change. Where is it? All our life, all the actions were driven by the fruit. And not just the fruit of action, remember, it is the fruit, you will be there to enjoy it. Either you have to be there or your offspring has to be there. That's what we get a child. I want to have a child. I want to have a child. Why do you want to have a child? Huh? So that let there be dharma in the world. Huh? Lineage. What is a lineage? Nowadays this has become, a fashion now, family tree. Everybody is asking, family tree. As though you are some, Rishi Parampara. Some great parampara I belong to, sir. Like Vyasa. Who was his? Vasishta, Shakti, Parasara, Vyasa, Sukha. My God. What a parampara, man. If you are born, be like that. You are one, I don't know what, your father. What parampara you belong to? As though some great, parampara. Everybody puts this, family tree. And now they include dogs also in that. In the family tree. I saw one. The family tree, one fellow has drawn the family tree. In that, he says, no, small branches are coming out. One branch is for the dog, 2 dogs. Some name he wrote. I couldn't understand the names actually because, I didn't know how to read that, pronounce it. So he had 2 names. He has put, one branch is leaning. What is that as? It is dog's arm. Crazy. Our family, a dog is standing there. It is not just the fruit that you want. Remember, the fruit that you want should be enjoyable by you. If I am not going to enjoy that, I don't care. If I am not able to enjoy, at least it should be by my child. If something is not going to be enjoyed by my child also, what are you going to do? Like this, in between, in the 80s, one of the wealthiest, of the top 10 wealthiest, if you take this family, maybe top 5 also, perhaps. Their family is only here for those brothers, 3 brothers were there. For all 3 brothers, there's only 1 child. And the fellow committed suicide. Only here. Committed suicide. Because of some love affair. They said no. The fellow committed suicide. Now they have the business empire. All 3 brothers. No child. Like you said, no. Suddenly it turned spiritual. They started visiting all the ashrams. I give you 50 crores, you take 100 crores, you take, it's like you going and giving 10 rupees, you go and give 100 rupees, you go and give 1000 rupees, like that they are dishing. Amazing. Suddenly, all that passion for wealth generation has gone. Why? No one is there to enjoy. If nobody is there to enjoy, what is your passion about it? Someone should be there for you. So, through their enjoying, you get enjoyment, joy. Another one is, I see my child eating the chocolate and get the joy. Imagine my child becomes incapable of enjoying the chocolate. What interest I will have with the chocolate anymore? Suddenly I will become detached. You call that as detachment?
Circumstantial.
Tomorrow the child develops the capacity to enjoy? That's what Vairagya is. Vairagya is not towards the object. It's not towards the fruit of action. That Vairagya you should develop towards the enjoyment possibility from the fruit of action. Renunciation of the fruit of action. What is the fruit of action? Enjoyment. He says no. Renounce the fruit of action. Now we think, just the fruit. No. What is the fruit of action? Fruit of action is enjoyment. Even though you are not going to get any joy out of it, anything beneficial to you, nothing is guaranteedly value addition to you, still, do you have the commitment to do it? Still, do you exert? That's the proof. That's what sacrifice is. That's what service is. Giving off, he says. Service is doing your duty. Sacrifice is stretching beyond your capability and doing it. Sacrifice. Service is just doing it. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Whatever you are, that extra service that you do, that stretch, I work, I enjoy. I don't have to give it to others. Viveka. I work, whatever comes I share. Service. Duty. Sacrifice. I work, I give mine also to others. That is sacrifice. You see the difference, all three. After developing Vairagya, what you should do? What happens? Beautiful one. This Vairagya itself is a fascinating idea. Yes. Asanga Sastra. This Asanga, this non-attachment, the detachment. Beautiful concept. Verse 4.
Tatah padam tatparimargitavyam
Yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyah purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prasada purani tatah padam tatparimargitavyam
Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prasada purani.
Tata. Then. When? Then. After developing Vairagya. After Vairagya, then that goal should be sought. Whither having gone, they do not return again. I seek refuge in that primeval Purusha, Supreme Being alone, wherefrom streamed forth ancient activity. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. Parimarga means that should be sought. After Vairagya development alone, you can think of that goal of realization. Without Vairagya, a person claiming that I have this goal of realization is just a, what they say, lip sympathy, lip service. It's just a lip service. Just saying, I'm also interested. If somebody can give me, moksha, I will be very happy. There is a fellow I remember in Pune. Person saying, what is that you are going for? I simply said moksha. For moksha, where are you spending 3-year course? If you're really interested in moksha, I said, yes, I am very much interested in moksha. For that, why do you spend 3 years? I said, what do you mean? 3 years. I'll take you to that lady. There's a lady there in Pune. People will be sitting like all of you. You all will be sitting there. She will walk around and she will carry, the bunch of, the peacock feather. Peacock feather. She will carry a bunch of peacock feather. Anybody's, head she touches with that moksha. Avladhan, I have got, he said. That fellow. I've got, why are you struggling? What is there to get confused here? I don't understand, he says. From moksha study, what is a connection? All that you have to do is what? Just go there, they will touch with that peacock feather. Only she has to touch. Anybody touching won't work. She has to touch. Then you will get there. Yes, after Vairagya, because I told you, Viveka explains two things. In that Samsara Varnana, he has already explained one thing. That is, that entire description of samsara, you must have realized one thing by now. One thing should have been very clear. That is, the tree is apparent, whereas the root is real. Right? The tree is apparent, Namarupa. Right? The pot is Namarupa. But it cannot be, that cannot exist without the support of the gold. The pot, the clay. Similarly, the samsaric tree cannot be existing without that root, which is Brahman. This is apparent, that is real. So with reference to the apparent, you would have developed Vairagya. With reference to the unreal, you have Vairagya. With reference to real, you see the difference. Okay, your Viveka has clearly understood. This is real, this is unreal. This is original, this is fake. That clarity you have got. Now, once you have got that clarity, what should be your outlook with reference to the fake, unreal, Vairagya? After developing this Vairagya, alone you should say, I am going for the real. Right? You cannot start by saying, I am going for the real. That will not work. So first thing is you should negate. After negating only, you should go for assertion. That's why the Upanishads goes neti neti. Why? First is neti. First is Vairagya. After developing Vairagya alone, the goal of realization will inspire you. Remember, without Vairagya, the goal of realization will not inspire. You can go on saying, I want to realize, I want to realize, I want to realize. You can go on saying that. I want moksha, I want mukti, I want nirvana. You can go on claiming that you want it. But are you willing to pay the price for it? If it is given free, I will take it. Definitely, sir. See, we are of that type. See, so understanding human weakness, Krishna goes about so beautifully. He says, after turning away from the world, the goal of perfection will inspire. When you have not turned, only then it will inspire you. Otherwise, there is no inspiration. You may develop a desire. Remember, you will develop a desire for a spiritual things. You will develop a desire for it. You will develop a liking towards it. You start developing a liking towards the class. You may start developing a liking towards satsang, bhajan. You start developing a liking towards chanting. What a amazing, sir. Divine it was. Bhajan. 2.5 hours bhajans. We were in heaven. And then, after that, back to normal. Now, if this fluctuation is going to happen, why, that situation drives you to that inspiration afterwards? Like in RSS, when I was there, I asked one man, they have, everyone is called Swayamsevaks there in RSS. And then there are few people who they call as Pracharak. This fellow, what is the difference between a Pracharak and a Swayamsevak? What's the difference? You have 24/7, you think only of this, you are a Pracharak. Once in a while you think of it, you are a Swayamsevak. In my free time I will do Swayamsevak. I make myself free to do this, Pracharak. I was so impressed with that idea. I thought, I was asking him, you mean to say that I need to leave my house, leave everything and come and stay in the office? That's what they do, actually, all of them. I asked him, you mean this is Pracharak, what is interesting in that? There's nothing interesting about it. He said, no. Just because you shift your house from, there to the Karyalaya, doesn't mean you become a Pracharak, please. A Pracharak is one who is that. That's what Swamiji says. Worship is not a part-time, pastime hobby. It's a full-time awareness of truth. That awareness of truth will inspire you. Just to say that, Aham Brahmasmi. Just that statement should do something to you. The statement Aham Brahmasmi is not giving you that. Means you are not inspired by that idea. You see, you are not having that inspiration. You may have a desire for it. Most of the time what happens in the spiritual path is people develop a desire for it. And then it is just a question of a strong desire overtaking the weaker desire, full stop. Is blind leading the blind? What is the point? Why blind is leading? the desire. One strong desire is eating all the smaller desires, weaker desires. In this person's case, this is a strong desire. In another person's case, business is a strong desire. In this person's case, this becomes a strong desire. The desire cannot be the driving force. A day has to come where the thought of reality should inspire. The thought of reality will inspire only after you have developed vairagya towards the world. That's why he says, then. Beautiful one. Like this Brahma Sutra, no? Says, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Then, therefore, inquiry into Brahman. Then you don't start a textbook with then and therefore. You end with it. See, the first sutra. Yes. Then, therefore, let us investigate into Brahman. So why do you have to? Then means what? Which means there is something before. We say, the subject is called what, sir? Vedanta. If we say it is Vedanta, if there is Anta, it will be Adi, no? Correct? Without Adi, how can there be Anta? If Vedanta is there, means there has to be Vedadi, no? Starting has to be there. Now, when you are studying, do you start reading from where? You start from where? From the beginning to, that is the method. Now you don't read something, you don't do something from the end. It's like, first is death, sir, and then old age, sir, and then the person will come to middle age, sir, and then he will become youth, sir. Doesn't happen that way. You are born, then you are an infant, then you are a child, and then you are a teenager, and then youth, and then middle age, and then old age, and then die. This is beginning, that is end. An end is there, means there has to be a beginning for it. So start in that sequence. You can't change the sequence. The sequence he gives so beautifully here. He says, first develop vairagya. Verse over. Wait for some time. For what? Next verse to start. There is a gap, no? He could have included this in the fourth verse only, or in the third verse itself he could have included, then that goal should be sought. Why he is not including there? He says it takes a time for you to develop vairagya. Develop that vairagya first. After developing vairagya, that goal should be sought. What do you mean, sir? That means, before vairagya, that goal is not sought. You see what I'm saying? He says, then that goal means what? The goal of perfection, moksha, liberation, whatever. Right? Then that goal of perfection should be sought. Means, before that goal was not sought, is it?
More clarity now because of sustained memory.
What does he say? The goal comes first or in between? Goal has to come first, no? That's not what he says. He says, you start first, real and unreal, samsara and the Brahman, all that description. Through the description, he is developing that. After developing viveka and vairagya, that goal should be sought. Which means Why do you develop Viveka and Vairagya? What is going to drive you to develop Viveka, Vairagya? Which means the goal is not there earlier. Huh? There is a difference, right? What is the difference?
Too much. Initially, too much.
I have already answered it. After that, I am asking a question. If you have followed the class, by now you would have given the answer.
From the beginning, goal is there. Only after practicing all these things, you will be able to approach or go towards the goal.
Before it was
So
hobby,
this has
now
to
it
be-
is full time.
Now it is
Huh?
clear to
Before
go.
hobby, now it's full time.
Means?
Outlook towards the
Correct. Means what?
You've got more than
Like a prachara.
established.
There's too many. You have to get rid of many of bulk of it goes.
That is a general one. I am talking about today's topic, today's discussion.
No, earlier it will be one of many things I have to do. This is also important, but there are others. But all that gets dropped off, and then only this is there.
Solidifying
It's
job.
only one. Only one.
What is the term I have used?
Sir, it's the,
Pracharak is RSS. No, come out of RSS, please. I am out.
it's the
No.
fake.
Contemplation are still
When from the Viveka,
Yes. Yes.
from the Viveka, once we get to know what is original and what is fake, from the fake.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Then that goal should be sought. Does it mean that goal was not sought earlier? It was there. Then that goal should be sought means what? Which means almost it gives an indication. First two, Viveka, Vairagya, you don't require. The goal should be. The goal of realization need not be there at all. Without the thought of the goal of realization itself, you can develop Viveka, Vairagya. After developing Viveka, Vairagya, develop the goal of realization. Then you fix the goal of realization. Then the goal should be. Is it the case?
It was intellectual.
It has to be there in the beginning itself. Then what is he saying? What is the difference?
It was an intellectual concept. earlier.
no choice.
But
Final
now
choice.
it is from the mind.
Until then,
mind
there
has
are
to.
alternatives are there.
The mind has to
Only
approve.
final choice. There is no other choice going on.
Inspiration.
Opposite?
Earlier it was only Buddhi saying there is
Inspiration, correct.
realization. Now
One side is
mind
50% right. But 50% right in Vedanta means 50% you jump the well. Where are you? Inside only. Other people jump only 10%, you jump 50%. You are still inside. No, but I jumped 50%, superior. Discuss inside the will, all that. In the initial stages, you will have desire. Desire means what? Motivation with the fruit. Oh, what all you will get, You study Vedanta, you know what all you will get? One set of people are peaceful, but not prosperous. Another group of people are prosperous, not peaceful. Here is a subject which gives you the fusion of peace and prosperity. Then I'll come to Vedanta. That's how we bring you inside. After coming inside, you'll realize what? There's neither peace nor prosperity. Prosperity God, peace has not come. Both are gone here. What are you going to do then? See, in the initial phases, you will not be inspired by the goal of realization. Right? After Vairagya only, you will have the goal will inspire you to do things. Initial Viveka can be developed because just you like the teacher. If we study, I don't like the maths teacher, therefore I hate mathematics. I like English teacher, therefore I start developing a liking for English. It's possible. Right? All those things can happen. Directly you are not having any interest in the subject. It is something other than the subject can, Similarly, the goal of realization may not inspire you. The goal of perfection may not inspire you. The arresting personality of the guru may inspire. There's something about them, arresting. That will inspire. Or the mix. But then, this needs to be only by that inspiration. Initially is the desire, later on it is the inspiration. That's what he means. Then that goal should be sought with fact. Oh, from childhood I had this passion, this is the seventh Janma of mine. One fellow will say, if I say seventh Janma, will you say no? You say, how will you know? From my childhood I have been having. Any one of you have seen me from my childhood? I ensure none of you meet anyone who knows my childhood. You see that? That's the problem. After I become, big one, you go back. Same teacher, like when I've been to my old school, the teacher was there. My friend was also there with me. Both of us been there to that school. So this fellow was asking me, he's asking, in Tamil. And I hear about that, I no number. You're asking, looking at this fellow, we used to get scared, no? This guy? Today it looks like that. But at that time, similarly, at that time what he was telling, Urupada mata. You are fit only to take care of the buffaloes. That's all you are fit for. Tea. Gave him tea. The Prime Minister. You say, you have prepared tea well, he says. So fit. Looking at him, we are scared. Now that same teacher looks at you. You go in BMW. He will say what? I knew. When you are child itself, I could see that in you. I all this. Why? From here when you look back, right? Same fellow where to go with the torn clothes without telling them, I'm already having an empire. Let's say, I go there and stand in front of him. What is he going to say? I told you, no. This is what? Now, inside, most of this Mahatma's life sketch was written inside. After they have become Mahatmas, it was written. So obviously what is going to be there? Everything will look symbolic. You see, that's why we don't write this biography and all these things. It's a waste of time. The biography is a waste of time. Autobiography is much more. You can't talk about it. Because why? Who writes it? Reverse. So when you, after development of Vairagya, when you look back your desire, suddenly you will see it has changed its texture. Now suddenly it will no longer be a kama, it will not be a raga. It's not a flare that you will be having. It's not that you are having an interest in this. Suddenly it would have started appearing as something else. It's not interest anymore, it is inspiration. After it has changed its texture, you have to do something else. Look at the steps he gives. First explains that and says, understand, this is the facts, Viveka. Then he comes to Vairagya. Then immediately he gives a checkpoint. After developing Vairagya, something would have happened in you. After the something has happened in you, do something else. What to do later, we'll see next class. Okay? As of now, this is what it is, the sequence. Samsara Varnana, that Varnana gives you Viveka, then you work towards developing Vairagya. After developing Vairagya, something would have happened in you. What is it? Your interest, your desire now would have become inspiration. Right? Then that goal should be sought. Right? We'll see you next class.